the story develops, we learn Ellsberg's opinion about what happens in the government. As the book reads, the president announced he was increasing the number of American troops in Vietnam to 125,000. More forces would be sent, he said, as requested. There was an audible gasp in McNaughton's office. Ellsberg couldn't believe what he'd just heard. What? He called out. Has he changed the decision? McNaughton gestured for quiet. He wanted to hear the rest of the president's statement, but there was no mention of the 200,000 figure. There was nothing about the importance of this decision, that it was a major commitment to long-term war. As Johnson began taking questions from the press, Ellsberg again asked if there'd been a last-second change of plans. You'd better find out, McNaughton said. Ellsberg ran down the hall to the Joint Chiefs' office. He asked the general whose job it was to schedule the deployment of troops if the president had changed his mind. He had not. Westmoreland was going to get his 200,000 troops. In the short term, Johnson's speech was a success. Congress and the public were relieved by the relatively small size of the military commitment. In the long term, this speech set Johnson's presidency on a muddy mountainside. If the president wasn't exactly lying, he certainly was going out of his way to downplay what he knew was a major commitment to war. What would happen when it became clear to the country that the Vietnam War was not going to end anytime soon? General Earl Wheeler, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, knew the president was playing a dangerous game. He felt that it would be desirable, he later said, to make sure that the people of the U.S. knew that we were in a war and not engaged at some two-penny military adventure, because we didn't think it was going to prove to be a two-penny military adventure by any manner of means. Ellsberg's new office had no window. He shared the space with another analyst whose desk was pushed up against his so that they worked facing each other, a symbol of Ellsberg's fallen status. Any chance he'd had at advancing his career in the Pentagon was gone. But he learned a lot in a year. He now knew that the American public had very little idea of how decisions were really made in Washington. That didn't particularly bother him, though. If you can't live with the fact that presidents lie, he later said, you can't work for presidents.